Let's begin our meeting with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any public comment on the agenda items for tonight? Guess not.
Nope, move on.
So moving on. Okay, regular meeting on February 3rd. And we also have
There's a special meeting too.
a special meeting minutes. Need a motion to approve the minutes of March 3rd and March 12th.
I'll move that we accept the minutes from March 3rd and March 12th.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right. So we have a journal report, no journal voucher report, okay. Treasurer report. Take a motion on the treasurer's report.
I move that we approve the treasurer's report as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, moving on to the claims and payroll.
I move that we approve claims and payroll as presented.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Motion carried. Okay, our judge's report for March 2025. Total number of new cases, 76. Total number of pending cases, 47. Total number of deposed cases, 54. And total number of active warrants, 109. Funds paid to Town of Plains, $5,326. Okay, the mayor's report. Well, we're gonna ad lib a little bit because the mayor didn't give me anything, but everything's just fine.
Your glass is half full.
Definitely.
Everything is just fine.
Just fine. And let's see, I don't have any usage or any of that, so report there, so that's okay, I guess.
Oops.
Oh, that's all right. Okay, let's go on to the officers' report. We have a fire representative here. Tony? Your beard's looking good, by the way.
Thank you. I think I combed it right before I came in. Not a whole lot for you guys. I don't think we had any calls last month of our own. I think we had a whole month without any. We went a handful of mutual aid calls for rural. Had a house fire the other night in Paradise, which still standing, which is good. Pretty slow as far as calls go. I've been trying to make up for lack of calls and training. I implemented a different training regimen this year than normal. I tried to do a structured training based on different tiers. It's just come to my attention over the years that some guys aren't capable of doing what other guys are, and sometimes they feel like they're not meeting the mark. So what I've done is basically built a structured tier of different levels of training. Like, not everybody's gonna be an interior guy. I mean, just the way it is. So the guys that wanted to be fully trained up to interior, I've set specific training for them, and then I have engineer and exterior and support and just a bunch of different tiers. So hoping that's a win. It's the same stuff that we do. It's just a different way of doing it. We're doing different training, just changing up a little bit. Guys seem to like it, and then keeping a record each year, like certifying each person for the level of training that they go to. Yeah, on record. Other than that, not a whole lot. No injuries, no major equipment breakdowns. Obviously, no major losses. So that's good. Always glad to report that. Fire station remodels coming along great. Phase 2 is getting pretty close to getting done. I'm really excited. They're almost ready to put the new lockers in. So that's like the aha moment when the new lockers go in and the guys move over to the non-smoke bay. So
Great.
we're almost there. He's got to put the ceiling in. It's all painted and framed up. So yeah.
Who's doing that work again?
Double A Construction.
Double A.
Double A, yep. So we'll have to do a show and tell one of these days, open it up, and so we get it all done. Everybody come see. Very excited about that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. You guys got any questions for me? Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Police report. Do we have anybody to talk to?
You have a report from Brian in there.
Let's see, planning board. Public works. I do? Did I miss it?
Here you go, Susan.
Oh, there you go.
There it is. I thought I saw something like that in there.
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we have a police report. Calls for service 36, arrests made 5, traffic, criminal and traffic citations written 152, citizen contacts 18. I'm not sure what that is.
Rick is out there.
I was gonna say, that just citizens walking up to cops
Oh,
while they're on duty.
talking to him,
Yeah,
registering a complaint or something.
or just,
Hi.
yeah.
Well, that's good. Business bar checks 12, resident checks 32, other agency assists 13, reserve officer training hours 6, reserve officer volunteer in uniform hours 11, paid reserve officer hours 6.
You see a note down here, the Intoxilizer 9000 is up and running.
Right?
And library.
Public works.
Hello.
Right?
Still staying extremely busy at the library. We received, it's called the ELSA Award, it's an Excellence in Library Services Award. It was awarded to 30 libraries in Montana this year. I'm one of them, so we're very happy about that. We had a chess tournament last month and it went really, really well. We had 15 kids, not kids, grown-ups, come and play chess, and it was a good time. Actually, because we were odd number, I had to call my teenager and be like, get down here and come play chess. Hurry up. Anyway, it ended up being a really good day. The Butcher's Nook donated a nice gift certificate for the winner to take home. And so, yeah, chess is becoming kind of a really popular thing from the littles all the way to the grown-ups. So it's one of our most popular programs, and we have twice a month. Between some private donations and some money from the library budget and some money from our library foundation, we were able to afford new blinds. The old ones, I think, were probably original to the building. And so these ones go up and down. And so they're really nice. They're going to help people like cool. They're going to help, just keep people comfortable. They're nice. You literally just lift them. There's no strings or anything, so you don't have to worry about little getting wrapped around their neck. And people can just, to their own comfort, feel free to use the library and open and close the blinds. And we are starting up a Friends of the Library. Friends of the Library are really common for libraries. We're the only library that I know of that doesn't have one. There was a time when there was one, and I think between the pandemic and just life, it had kind of fallen apart, and they lost off their 501c3, and it kind of just stopped existing. So we're trying to get that back going. That's a very normal thing for libraries to have, just having that group of volunteers that advocate and fundraise and just help out the library with volunteer tours and things. If anybody's interested, I have more information on little handouts. If anybody needs another little volunteer job, I know everybody in this room's already like, yeah, right. That's all I have, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, on to old unfinished business. Ordinance chapter 10. Any comments or questions? Suggestions?
I did read it and I highlighted nothing.
Well, that's a good thing. Hooray. All right. Let's move on to new business. Recommendation from planning board on Adam K. property, I think. And moving to the planning board minutes. I have them here. That's Public Works.
Those are fun.
Planning board, there it is. I knew I had it. So, do we have a planning board representative here? No. Would you like to give us a little more lowdown on this? Other than just reading everything?
He requested a variance so that he could put up his shed, and
Oh, on the two-story structure over here?
no,
No.
over that way, somewhere over that
Okay.
direction. And he asked for the variance because it's closer to the road, but it's going to be behind a fence, and
Is that-
it's like right next, like he still has his parking. He can still park off street, and then there's a little shed where they've stuck their wood, and then they're gonna put the shed that he's requesting next to that. And so after discussion, we decided to let him have it as long as he does not hook in any plumbing or electrical.
Now, is
Because
this
it's gonna
fence
It's gonna be
existing?
inside the fence.
There's-
He's in the process of
Oh,
putting
it's
up the
gonna have
fence,
it.
and it will be inside the fence.
Is this on Ryan Street?
I believe so.
Okay, I knew what that said.
Did he say how big the shed was going to be?
8 by 12, I think, if I remember right. It might say in the minutes.
So 96 square feet. Most metro areas don't regulate anything under 200 square feet.
Right.
So what is he asking for the variance on, the fence or the
It's
shed?
because the shed is not far enough away from the property line.
So what's the adjacent property, a street or?
Street.
Oh,
But it won't cause any problems with visibility, won't cause any problems with anything. Mostly 'cause it's
How much
behind the fence.
property is from the fence line to the street edge, approximately, just a guess? Do you not have any idea on that?
From the shed to the,
From this fence line to the street edge?
oh, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't see a problem with it as long as it's not a visibility problem or anything.
Yeah, it's not.
That's that structure that they've been putting together for some time now, is that correct?
No, it is,
I know there's some trailers parked across that little drive there. If it's the one
I
on
wanna
Ryan
say it's on Cook Street.
Cook Street.
Garrett, do you remember Johnny Dirk's address?
It is on Cook Street, I don't remember
Cook,
the number.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you know where Johnny Dirk's lived, that's Cook and Ryan? Not even
I
sure.
don't think it's wrong.
well,
I
anyway,
drive right to it, I just can't remember the street.
Right, same here. Yes, same here. Let me see if I can find it.
So, the recommendation was to allow that then?
Yes.
Okay. And then also you had a request from Josh Champneys.
Right. The planning board declined his request.
And that's on that
That's the one down here.
two-story structure down.
Yeah.
Okay, and there was one other one, correct? Or was there? Nope, I guess not. Okay. So, moving on from that then, let's, I guess the horses was next on the agenda.
So
Are you
was
gonna
that-
make a motion on that?
Oh, excuse me. To accept the meeting,
To
planning board
accept the
meeting?
variance. To accept the variance.
Accept the variance for, Adam K. Okay, I need a motion for Adam K. variance to accept this variance.
I'll make a motion to accept the variance of Adam K.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we accepted the variance for that.
Now you can move on.
Thank you. For keeping me in line. Okay, now we're on to horses. Our, Corina,
Corey's not here.
she is not
He's
here.
not able to make it tonight.
Yes.
so,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Enlighten us on the horses.
Yes, so we, with Park and Rec, we originally wanted to go with the 3D design that you all saw, last month. But after discussion, we were concerned about people climbing on the statues if they were 3D. Of course, the cost of materials to build it, and somebody to weld it also, big expense. So, the Park and Rec board decided to stick with the silhouette, a metal silhouette, for, the statues, instead of the 3D design. We found a place out of Coeur d'Alene, I believe it's called Coeur d'Alene Metals. That can deliver straight to a facility that we've spoke with at Gore that can cut out the silhouettes for us on their water jet table. And then RTI said that they could weatherize the metal to extend longevity of the statues. We are wanting to at least get one statue up before Plains Day, so that we can have a price on what it's generally gonna cost. I know it's gonna fluctuate because metal fluctuates, the price does, so, no way around that. But we'd like to have one up by Plains Day, so that maybe local businesses or locals can donate to the project. We wanna have at least 8 to 10 horses down the greenway. But we're looking to purchase a 5x10 sheet of metal here as soon as we can, so we can get the process going. So I guess we're looking for an okay on that.
Okay.
And then Corey wanted me to ask about something else, so, but I can wait.
Related to horses or something else?
Something else for Park and Rec. I gotta read it, because she texted it to me, and it was a little different than what I can remember. She wanted me to ask about reviewing Park and Rec's ordinances, fees, deposits, consequences, and possibly seeking changes to them. She didn't specify what changes. Also that we'd like to update applications for use and create a usage guidelines or rules for the parks.
Okay, well, let's, talk about.
What if it does
Yeah.
the committee reports?
The horses, purchasing the horses, do we need a motion
To go
Request.
ahead with this.
to go
And how
ahead?
much did you say it was gonna be? So one sheet, when I called them, was about 540
Okay.
for one sheet of 5x10, quarter inch.
Mhm.
And, that includes delivery.
And then
So-
who cuts, does it come already cut or?
No, we're
Okay.
gonna ship it to Gore. I spoke with Randy, who owns Gore. He said he'd be more than happy to help us cut that. I don't know the cost on what it would take to cut the silhouette out. He couldn't give me an estimate until they do it, to know what kind of material they would be spending on that, so.
Where would we take?
You look like you have a question.
Where would we take that money from?
So Parks still has quite a bit of money in there under their purchase services. And Corey and I had talked about taking it maybe from there. And if not, we do have another source in there that we can take it from if it's over $5,000.
Which sounds like.
Which
if it's
I
over
don't know if it's
$5,000
going to
and the
be.
sheet's only 540, that would
Yeah,
be
I don't see it
ridiculous.
costing that much.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
but they still have money in Parks and Rec.
Just kidding.
Any
And-
idea what it would cost?
Well, we run
to
it,
cut
so
something like that out?
we cut that, so when we run that, we charge $185 an hour. And not knowing the actual length, how many inches, quarter inch steel, probably only cutting maybe 6 inches a minute. So you can only imagine if it's 1,000 inches, depending on the detail of the horse, I mean, you can figure it out there. It'll probably be one of those things where I'll just sit out there all night and watch it, make sure it doesn't stop or whatever. Not all night, don't worry. But it could be one of those things where I just sit out
So it's
there.
finished.
We'll do other things out there and just make sure it continues to run. It'll probably cost, I don't wanna say it because
It's tough to decide.
it's really hard because, I mean, without seeing a drawing and not knowing the lineal inches, and knowing how fast it's really gonna cut, and how much aggregate we use, because we don't use a whole lot of sand out there, because we cut rubber, and paper, and cork, but when we do cut steel, it does eat quite a bit. So we may have to buy a ton of, it may run through a ton of sand, and that's $186 for the, it's not, it's garnet, but it's $186 for a ton of it. So, I mean, it could be $500-600, it could be $1,500, I can't put a finger on it.
And just for the record, you're an employee at Gore, you don't have a financial stake in the company?
No,
Okay.
no, yeah, no, I don't make any money off of
Okay.
it, no.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just an employee, yeah. I wish I owned it, and I didn't have to work.
Well, I just thought that needed to be clarified,
Yeah.
just for anybody that didn't know. So did RTI give you an idea if the coating is a powder coating?
No, they didn't, give me a price on that, but, I can find that info out and get it along to you guys, but, yeah, we're just,
And it might just be a wash primer.
I think so. It was
So-
fairly simple kind
Yeah.
of process, I believe, but, Yeah.
that stuff too.
yeah, we're just running out of time. We wanted to get it done by Plains Day, so we'd have an idea of what one would cost.
Did you guys, you haven't ordered the sheet yet, have you?
No, waiting for an okay on that.
Yeah, we're waiting for the credit to be accepted.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the Greenway horse, Parks and Rec.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion is carried.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the second half, what you were talking,
Ordinances for Park and Rec.
I think
Yeah,
you needed to go to the Park and Recs and come up with some better
Yeah.
wording and
Have a meeting
ideas.
Write
Yeah,
a thing and bring, yeah.
yeah, I'll see if we can get something written out and copies for you guys for the next meeting.
okay, that would be great. All right, moving on then to NSF fees. And that is,
And for those that don't know what that is, it's
Resolution.
non-sufficient funds.
yep, resolution 25-2, adoption by town council, town of Plains, adopting fees for returned payments. We currently charge only $25, is that correct? And it's kind of behind the times, like a lot of things. We haven't, and many of the banks and things are charge more than that. And we are looking at, increasing that to a $50 fee. So, I need a motion to,
We don't have to have the legal look at any of this on a fee change, is that what we decided?
You can change it by resolution.
Okay.
yeah,
And part of the reason behind that is the company that we're going with, going forward for our online billing or email billing is gonna charge us $15 every time a check comes back.
So that's the fee that they're gonna charge.
They're charging 15.
Oh, 15.
Yeah, they're gonna charge us $15 every time a return check comes back to us.
Right. Okay. That's it.
okay, any other questions? Have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the change in the NSF fees on resolution number 25-2.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
You probably want a
Aye.
voice vote.
Oops,
You might want a voice vote on
a
this.
voice vote, okay. We'll take a
John
vote.
R.,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Lana,
Yes.
John D,
Yes.
JD.
Yes.
You don't count.
I don't count today. Okay, motion passes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, committee reports, administrative committee none, and public works,
So Public Works met on Friday, and we discussed the last issue of the NSF fee. We also talked about water billing on the empty lots in town. We talked about parking on Willis from the Lynch intersection to Fifth Avenue. And then we also talked about one of the water meters on the east side of town. And that's all in the minutes.
okay. Public, or no, Park and Rec, Karina is not here, and you already told us everything, correct? Okay, we're on to planning board, we had some minutes there. Who was our planning board person? Again.
Charlie, who's up right?
We already kind of went over all that though.
Okay, I think we pretty much covered that one, okay, police report,
Nothing to report.
oh, there it is. Nothing to report on the police. Okay, safety committee did not meet.
Just don't forget admin committee, we are having a budget meeting on the 16th.
Yes.
Don't forget,
At what time again?
6.
6, thank you. So I'm still not in my email. I tried to put on my computer and it says my password or my email address are not accurate. I know, right? I tried to put it on my phone, but it said I had to delete all my other accounts.
Don't do
Put
that.
one in there. Nope, not doing that.
Okay, so do we have any other public comment at this time?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
We're trying to put together Plains Day, and I understand parking and all that stuff's been changed around out here from,
The parking, yes.
yeah, Helder line over. Why?
We have a new sprinkler system.
Yeah, the new sprinkler system is the main reason why we've rearranged the parking.
Can't we be marking that so that, make it more obvious not to park on it? Cause we're just looking at the problem of getting vendors in and getting their stuff in and out.
Yeah, and that's been addressed, let's see. We looked at a lot of different options there, and it's going to be a one-way in and out. Come in from this end and go out from the other end.
Okay.
Toward Central, and a left turn at Central rather than a right turn. Because it's cleaner to turn right there. And we're gonna consider working on the dip there.
Right.
And, but to keep people off the sprinkler system, it's a poly system and it's not that deep and it's still pretty new. I mean, it should be better by the summer as far as firming up the soil so you driving on it won't break it. But we still have sprinkler heads that are pop-up type sprinkler heads. That's a new addition. And so driving on those will definitely destroy them.
Yeah.
So, and they're about $20-some a piece to replace just the cost of the sprinkler. So the easiest thing we could do, and this is, Corey's looked into this quite extensively about what other places are doing as far as where they have display areas like on greenways and stuff. They don't allow parking on their sprinkler areas for that reason. And they have designated driving parking. And then wherever you have your sprinkler areas, you can have displays, but it's just foot traffic only out there. Because people go out there and turn around.
No stakes.
And no driving of stakes of any kind. It's just a general rule now that people use in their parks because, especially we have a poly system now, poly pipe, and we can't afford to have people driving stakes in the ground and possibly hitting our water pipes.
Okay, just trying to get prepared from the vendors because some of them aren't going to be happy.
Yes, we did have some of that last year. Some of them like to have a certain orientation of their stuff. And we'll try to work with them wherever we can, but we do have to set some guidelines too. And as far as Corey's investigation, this kind of thing is not uncommon. The way the rules and ideas that we're using right now are pretty much across the board as far as other places using parks and facilities where there's grass and sprinklers. They just don't want people driving stakes in it and don't want people driving on it, except in a designated area where they can do that without injuring our stuff.
Good.
So, any other questions, sir?
Nope.
Okay. Do we have any other public comment?
I have a question.
Yes.
So this is addressing the Public Works meeting. Let's deal with the parking on Willow Street.
So we talked about not allowing parking from Lynch down to Fifth Avenue, but this section right here is the main parking for City Hall and the adjacent businesses, so we didn't decide to do anything with the parking.
Okay.
There was some talk about maybe putting a traffic light down across from your place, like a flashing light for people to cross the street right there. But that's in its infancy.
So you have to tell me when that meeting is.
If it goes that far, we'll tell you.
Do we have any other public comment? Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Mull.
I spoke to y'all a couple months ago back in cold weather about the street over there in front of the apartments down that area in your district.
Brian,
there,
yes.
John. And I've noticed your, people have been out patching some of the roads, and I just want to make sure that y'all haven't forgot about it. I hate to be the squeaky wheel every time, but, it's been let go for a long time, and you can hardly get through it now. I mean, after this winter, those holes are getting pretty deep. The neighbors down there are getting aggravated with people going in and out the road up there because they try to miss the holes and get over in their yard. One of the neighbors has parked his vehicle out partially in the road and put cross ties on the edge of it, so,
I haven't seen that. I'll have to go look.
yeah, when you turn off the old, it's just sitting down on the right side. But, we don't really cause a problem. We just want to get what's there fixed. And if y'all even looked into it yet as to what you might do with the street other than just patching it, because it's 90% gone.
Yeah, and our guys are patching right now, and that's all we're going to be doing right now. And we do have some grant money that we're going to fix a couple of streets. But, a major repair of a street, has to be grant funded. We don't have the funds in our coffers to do that.
I understand that it's not a rich city, and everything, but it could be repaired as simple as putting, gravel back in those holes, cause it's not, the paved street is surface treatment. And it'll be torn up anyway. The county did one out there on McCray the same way. They went in and it was pretty much beat up, and back last fall for the winter, they went in and put gravel in all the holes and fixed it and rolled it in and everything, and then it worked through the winter, and it's still in decent shape out there. And that could be the same thing. A truckload of gravel would do a world of difference on a 6-inch deep pothole, you know?
Well, we're looking at a lot of other options right now too. I know, read an article about Montana roads. A lot of counties are going away from paving and going to gravel only. So,
I wouldn't care if it's gravel, if it's just maintained. I mean,
Yeah.
gravel ain't gonna knock your alignment out on your vehicle, no matter how slow you go through there.
well, we duly note it, but we don't tell the guys where to go on every day that they decide to do potholes, but
Yeah.
so
Got a nice new rig I saw for potholing.
it's not new. It's something we've had for a while. It just hasn't been used
They haven't been using
very
it.
much.
They usually use the shoveling it out back of the dump.
Yeah, and we're using some different material right this year to see how that's going to work out. It's a little more pricey, but it hopefully has a little better lifetime.
Yeah.
So we're working on things, but like I say, if we're going to have a major redo of a road, it's going to take funding from a grant or something. We do have a couple spots that are going to be done this summer.
That's great. What about the cuts across the street from back out towards from your house there and down?
Again, that's something we're going to have to get some more funding for. So we don't do big sections like that. We just don't do it. Our town guys, no. So we'd have to have like say, some funds, go out for a contract and get an actual paver to do it.
So we're gonna be driving in a pothole probably for another year or two.
Well, we'll do the best we can. That's all we can say.
Okay,
I appreciate your comment. Keep squeaking.
I will. About every other month.
Do we have any other public comment at this time? How about motion to adjourn?
So moved.
You didn't do it.
He looked at me.
We are adjourned.
Yes, you do. I need you to be predictable. It's how I plan my